Y'all, I'm to the point where I don't even like the comment section anymore. Seriously, I'm just at a point in my life where I'm just exhausted from all the fakeness in the world. Like, why does everything have to be fake? Like, and you know what makes it bad is that people fall for it, and that's what is disturbing. It's like people that are older than me fall for the internet buffoonery. They believe the lies, they read the lies, they believe the lies, and then they come here being two-faced. It's exhausting. And then people wonder why I have no friends. Oh, a biscuit. I probably need that. You see how skinny I've gotten this week? I've lost 7 pounds since I left Florida. That was a week ago. I just bought 2 pieces of chicken. Guess how much it was? Hello? 2 pieces of chicken was $10. $4.26 a piece, bringing it to almost $9 after tax. You need $30 a day just to eat, you know, out of your car. It's crazy. Yeah. I think I'm done with the comment section. Oh. Ah, it's a little spicy. I like it. Fucking starving. What if the Trump administration is the one that had the Epstein killed? Factually speaking, Trump had more reason to kill Epstein than anyone else at the time because of the 2020 election. He was running again in 2020. Conspiracy, but when you think about it logically, who would be the number one person that would want Epstein dead? President Trump. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying he could have made it happen if he wanted to. I think it's funny how naive people are because you don't fuck over a man like Trump and expect to apologize and things are just cool. It really goes to show how naive Elon is. Yeah, he's a very smart man, but when it comes to matters of street smarts, he's not. He's actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's green behind the ears. He's a 1 at best when it comes to matter of politics and the way that things operate behind the scenes, and the way that things operate behind the scenes with people who are in positions of power. Elon is naive. He acted like a brat. He absolutely fucked over Trump. You don't become the poster child for the Republican movement, and then after 6 months after you get this president into office, then you take to Twitter to say that his name was in the Epstein, that Trump's name was in the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't been released. Now, I do believe that there's a lot of truth to that, 100%. We went through that yesterday. We looked into the history of Trump. and Epstein, they were very close friends. Trump said that they were friends for over 15 years. And then when he was going through his when he was in office back in 2019, he said, oh, I barely knew the guy. But 10 years prior, he said that they were best friends of 15 years. And Epstein himself had even made comments that him and Trump had been really good friends for 10 years. So, in my opinion, they were absolutely friends. Trump was going to that island. He was probably having sex with girls. Y'all know I like Trump. But this is why people don't like me. I can't ignore it. I refuse to ignore it. The facts are the facts. And I'm just wondering what Trump's going to do to Elon now, because this is not water under the bridge. It might look like it to people that have never been exposed to powerful rich men, but I can assure you that Trump has an ace up his sleeve. You don't get to embarrass the president and then come back and say sorry tomorrow. Trump don't play those games. I don't either. That's why I don't have friends. That's also why I respect Trump. So I wonder how long he's been collecting dirt on Elon. Probably from the start. See, people like Elon he can be impulsive, and if it's true that he's on drugs, then that explains some of his erratic behavior and statements. But if it's true that he's on ketamine, then Trump and his administration has been collecting this evidence for months, because they knew he was a loose cannon. So they're going to collect every bit of evidence on him in case of an event that he goes off the rails and does what he did. Now, the reason they would publicly denounce this feud is to settle it, but you can best believe that Trump doesn't trust him. He probably never did. He needed him for his campaign. He needed him for Doge. Who's to say he didn't bring him in on that project just to collect evidence against him? That's how Trump works, though. Here, let me pull you in. You'll be my business partner. And then behind the scenes, he's collecting evidence to build a case, or to build a narrative, or to just know who his enemy is. There's people that behave that way out here that aren't billionaires. I can assure you that this is how billionaires think and behave. They're always covering their bases. They got lawyers lined up looking for liabilities, the loose ends, the loose wires that they know are going to be problematic. They've already been talked about, and evidence has already been gathered. I just wonder what's going to happen to Elon, because this is not water under the bridge. Trump might say, oh, it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge now, until Trump has no use for him. So I wonder if he'll end up in jail for some kind of tax fraud, or there ain't no telling. Could his contract with the U.S. government, SpaceX, I don't know. Something's gonna happen. He'll either end up in jail or dead, in my opinion. And hell, it might take 10 years. But it'll be under mysterious circumstances. Like Epstein's death. I sound like a conspiracy theorist. What if I told you this was human nature, though? Look at all the kingdoms. Look at all the kings and queens. They used to do the same shit to each other. People have been betraying people since the beginning of time. And even more, people have been seeking revenge for the betrayal that was done upon them for centuries as well. I think something's going to happen to Elon. Maybe they'll 5150 him and say he's crazy. Maybe he'll get charged with some kind of tax fraud. Maybe SpaceX will fucking implode and they'll blame it on him. I don't know. I just know that Trump don't play these games, honey. And if you cross him, he's going to come after you, even if it takes him 20 years. It's one of the things I respect about him. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that Elon seems like a loose cannon right now. He does not seem stable. He seems erratic. He seems a mess. He's pale. His face is always red. He looks, in my opinion, he looks like he's been dabbling in some drugs. In my opinion. And I used to do drugs. Been clean for 5 years. But his appearance, his disheveled appearance, and his erratic behavior and his own statements, God, somebody take Twitter from him, X. It appears that he's going through something. Whether it's drug use, whether it's some kind of mental health dilemma. We know that he has Asperger's. We know that he's got the tism. But this is different. He's literally a loose cannon. You know, it's crazy because Kash Patel, I watched that rerun of Joe Rogan, Kash Patel talking about the Epstein files and why he didn't investigate it. Not the director of the FBI explaining why he can't look into the Epstein files even further and release this list. I mean, it's crazy. It's literally your job. If anybody can look into the Epstein list and release it, it would be you dumbass. I originally liked Kash, but now I'm starting to see that he's just a pawn. And most of them are, you know, we watch them run. They make all these promises, and then they get into office and they turn into sheep. So Kash is one of those people. Patel, is that his name? He went on Joe Rogan, and he tried to explain all of these statements by Elon away. He gave Joe Rogan the runaround. I do think there's more to it. I see both sides. I think that it's wrong that Trump was hanging out with Epstein, allegedly. But I also think that it's wrong for Elon to take to Twitter to air out his grievances. First of all, y'all are supposed to be grown adults. Second of all, y'all are both like billionaires. Why are you out here acting like you're running a trailer park? Like, that was some Jerry Springer shit. How embarrassing. You know, calling out Donald Trump on Twitter and saying that he was in the Epstein files, and that's why Kash Patel had not released them, or that's why the FBI refused to release them, is because Donald Trump was in these files. There does seem to be some truth to those statements. We know that Trump and Epstein were friends. We know that Trump went on his private plane. We know the first time Melania and Trump allegedly ever had sex was on Epstein's private plane. And there's flight logs from Trump traveling there. So on this specific plane, I think Bill Clinton and a few other people took the same plane. So there's flight logs from this. I don't know. I think both of them are wrong, but I do think that Trump's going to get back at Elon. I think he will. I don't think that Elon knows who he's playing with at all. That chicken went bad. Donald Trump opens the door to forgiving Elon Musk. It's laughable. People like this don't give second chances. People like me, we don't give second chances. You fuck us over once, you'll never see us again. So I find it humorous, the headlines, because no way. President Donald Trump said he is open to forgiving Elon Musk after the billionaire's recent attacks, marking a potential turning point in their relationship. Then Elon Musk said that he regretted that he made these statements. Like, does it not feel like a father and a son relationship, with the father rebelling against the son and then the son coming back and saying, I'm sorry, Dad, I pitched a fit in public and I shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. And Trump's like, oh, I'm gonna forgive my son. Like, does it not feel like that? It feels like Elon is a toddler throwing a tantrum in the Oval Office, and Trump is Papa Trump. I mean, that's what it feels like from the outside. It's like crazy. It's crazy. The only reason that Trump would make these statements is because it's what looks good. Of course, he's not going to come out and say, oh, Elon Musk is a two-faced bastard that rides the fence, that is, you know, backstabbing. He's not going to come out and say that, of course. He has to be politically correct. So, of course, he's going to say, oh, I'm open to forgiveness. And let me tell you what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, he absolutely is. And he might get even closer to Elon to collect dirt on him, to convict him of something. So this was all over a tax bill called the One Big Beautiful Bill. It's filled with tax cuts and spending on the military and border security. I mean, he's completely went off the rails. Elon Musk said that Donald Trump wouldn't have won his presidential election if it wasn't for Elon. And then he said that the reason the Epstein files weren't released was because Donald J. Trump was in there. He's literally lost his mind. Musk posted on X a few hours before the Trump interview that was released that he regretted some of his remarks about the president because they went too far after he decided to delete them from X. The damage is done, homie. The best thing you could do is stay the fuck away from Trump. What a dumbass. I mean, it really goes to show that you can have all the intelligence in the world, and if you have no street smarts, you're fucked. It really goes to show this is one of the smartest men in the world playing with wolves. I mean, he's in the lion's den playing with lions, thinking that this is some college frat squabble. It's crazy. I mean, it really shows how green behind the ears he is. If they took out the motherfucking president, bitch, are you stupid? I think you is. I think you very stupid. They fucking killed JFK and you're over here playing these games? Homie, was it JFK? You know who I'm talking about. Musk needs Trump and Trump needs Musk. We believe that this is an important step to the two becoming friends again and allies on a number of topics. I don't know if he's going to end up dead. I do think he'll end up in jail. I think they'll prosecute him for something in the next few years. Or he'll end up dead. Ketamine overdose. You are playing a dangerous game. And he don't even see it as a game because he's running on emotions. Yeah, he's running on emotions. That's why he made those statements, because he was an emotional mess. His feelings were hurting. He had to get back at Daddy. I think Elon has severe psychological issues, specifically with his father's relationship. His father, in my opinion, is a full-blown narcissist. There's tons of interviews with this guy. What's his name? Earl? Shit. First of all, Elon grew up in South Africa with his mother and his father and a brother. And I think he might have a sister too. Elon's father was very overbearing, judgmental, aggressive, abusive. He beat the hell out of Elon's mother when Elon was growing up with his brother and I do believe sister. They were all in an abusive family dynamic. I can't remember the guy's name. Elon's father has never been proud of anything that Elon has ever done. And matter of fact, in sit-down interviews where Elon's father is talking about Elon's father always finds a way to degrade Elon, his progress, his success. He always finds a way to put Elon down. That causes severe psychological damage to early childhood development, because a child is being belittled and demeaned by the person that they are supposed to be loved and bonded with. And so the family dynamics are crazy. Elon's mother is a notorious supermodel that traveled around the world, and we looked into this. She actually did runway shows in New York when Trump was younger, around the time that Elon was born. Very interesting. I swear to God, go down the rabbit hole. So Elon's mother would fly to New York and do fashion shows, runway shows and stuff. She actually was flying all over the world. And this was before Elon was born. So she would have been in the same circles as Donald Trump, and they would have been the same age. Matter of fact, they're only 3 years apart. Very ironic, right? I'm not saying that Trump is Elon's daddy, but I am saying that there's 3 years missing out of this woman's life right before she got pregnant with Elon. And you can't even find out where she was. Very weird. Very, very weird. Elon's mom, when she got pregnant with Elon, she settled down with Elon's father, who we think is his father. I've been down this conspiracy rabbit hole before. If you weren't here for the first one, yes, I looked in to if Trump could be Elon Musk's father. There is a small potential, but if anybody else, I've been begging someone that has the manpower and money to look into these things, specifically Candace Owens. Candace, I want to know where Elon's mama was for them 3 years she was missing right before he popped out the womb, because the timeline is sketchy. And she was in New York running in the same social circles as Donald Trump. Weird. What is the chances? What is the chances that this supermodel from the 60s and 70s, I don't know when Elon was born, what are the chances that this supermodel is flying all over the world, flies in to New York, meets Donald Trump, and then moves back to South Africa, meets Elon's father, and they settle down and have children? I mean, it's a small world. And then fast forward 40 years, Elon is over here campaigning for Trump. I mean, at the very least, it's a small world. So anyways, Elon's father was extremely abusive, toxic, always dragging the family down, always a brute. The children grew up on fear. They grew up hearing their mother getting beat. And Elon's father has never gave him any kind of recognition or validation. Elon's father tears Elon down at every chance he can get. And so it's clear to me that Elon never bonded with his father, because his father, in my opinion, is a narcissist. So I could see how he would flock to Trump, because Trump, from all outwards appearances, Trump is a good father. We see through Barron and Trump Jr. Ain't that his name? Donald Trump Jr. Ivanka, is that her name? Tiffany. Listen, I don't know his damn kids, okay? They're not my kids. They're not my names to know. He seems to be a good father and a great grandfather. So I would see why Elon would flock to Trump if they had this bromance. He moved to Mar-a-Lago. He literally, he met Trump and he started campaigning for him, and then he interjected himself into being one of the family. It's kind of weird. It's almost like Elon is screaming for a father figure. He's screaming for some kind of connection, in my opinion. And if that's the case, that would explain his erratic behavior when his feelings got hurt over a tax bill and he took to Twitter to air out his grievances like a teenage child. Do you get it? Now they're reconciling, which I think is cute, because it's all for public appearances. Unless, and it might not. Elon is so naive, clearly. He's so naive that he thinks that this is a reconciliation, but in my opinion, this is to keep the enemy close, to keep the enemy under control, so that he doesn't keep blabbing his mouth on damn Twitter. Trump is going to play frenemies with him now, and probably be collecting evidence and any other information that could incriminate him in the future. They're going to be keeping that close to the vest. And they've probably been doing this from the start, because this is how billionaires behave. They don't just let anybody in. They let people in while also learning about people and collecting evidence against them for blackmail. And some of that is to cover their own ass legally. So, yeah, it's just crazy that people don't know these things. That's what Epstein was doing. He was using young girls to collect, and P. Diddy was doing the same thing. P. Diddy was doing the same thing. He was taking videos and blackmailing people that he knew in the music industry and the film industry all over the world. Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein both were doing this to crown princes. World leaders were flying to the island, and they were trying to collect evidence to use against them as blackmail to get them to behave the way that they wanted them to. There's no difference in doing that through sex crimes and doing that through friendships. You know what I mean? Sure, Ghislaine and P. Diddy and Epstein were doing it through sex crimes, but the same behavior happens without sex crimes when it comes to billionaires and millionaires, and the dirt that they collect on each other and the blackmail that they hold close to the vest in case they need it later on down the road. It's a dangerous game. I wouldn't want to be around a bunch of billionaires or millionaires. Absolutely not. They're very dangerous people. They have the funds and the money to do whatever they want. And some of them, as we've seen, do whatever they want for years before they're busted. And some of them are never busted for blackmailing and pulling the strings behind closed doors. I think that it's going to end poorly. I do. I think that it's laughable that these guys are reconciling, because the damage has been done. It's all for show. I wonder what's going to happen. And hell, is Trump doing this because he wants to obtain SpaceX? That didn't even dawn on me. What if, because Elon is contracted through SpaceX and he gets government funding for SpaceX, but that's his company. Well, if a court deemed him mentally unfit and too strung out on drugs to run that company, it would go to the federal government. Right? Hold on. Let me... SpaceX information on federal funding. So SpaceX, a private space flight company founded by Elon Musk, has received significant federal funding through various contracts and grants. In 2024, SpaceX secured a $3.8 billion in federal contracts and has received a total of $18 billion in federal contracts over the last decade. The funding primarily comes through agencies like NASA and the Department of Defense, which is the government. If Elon Musk died, where would SpaceX go to? Hold on 1 second. It's not telling me. What do you think would happen to SpaceX if Elon died? I don't know. It says his assets and stuff would go to his kids, but could the federal government ever obtain SpaceX from Elon Musk? Yes, they could. While unlikely, and that means like if he was in a stable frame of mind, not on drugs, and not out here being erratic, while unlikely and facing significant legal challenges, the federal government could potentially obtain ownership of SpaceX from Elon Musk through a process called nationalization. If you don't know what that is, don't feel bad. I'm about to go see. Shit. Nationalization. I'm glad I know how to say it right. The transfer of a major branch of industry
or commerce from private to state ownership or control.
The transfer of a major branch of industry or commerce from private to state ownership to control. Or control. The principle of eminent domain could potentially extend to seize businesses' assets if it's deemed necessary for public use, provided just compensation is paid. The government would be required to pay the current owner just compensation for the company, although the determination of the value can be complex. Not if he's insane. If he's insane and they put him in like a conservator fucking ship, that would change the whole dynamics of everything. And I'm speaking conspiracy theories here. Stick with me. Something's going to happen. What else does he have that they would want? Starlink and SpaceX and Tesla are going to be his three main sources of income. Oh, Neuralink. Neuralink, Elon Musk. Does Elon Musk get federal funding for Neuralink? No. He does not receive federal funding. While the Neuralink technology is regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, it does not receive any government funding. I don't know. What a dumbass. And you know, Trump has already said that. So Elon Musk had said that he was going to fund some Democratic candidates or whatever. And Trump said, quote, if he does, he'll have to pay the consequences for that. And he'll have to pay very serious consequences if he does that. I think it's a very bad thing because he's very disrespectful. You cannot disrespect the office of the president. So clearly Trump is not happy about this because that was his statements. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't wrap my mind around what they're going to do to him, but I just know something's going to happen because I know how these people work, honey. The only reason Trump is accepting this apology is because it looks good on him to do so. And, you know, what's the alternative? To continue to fight publicly over something that is so childish? Yeah. I mean, they used each other. They knew going into this that it was about campaigning and getting funding for his companies, and they've been riding off of each other's coattails. And I thought the bromance was good for them, but I think there's a lot going on with Elon. I do. I think there's so much more that people don't even understand that he's into. I really do. I don't think he's this, I don't know. I don't think that he's just this intelligent guy. I think he's a highly intelligent, manipulative, cunning, self-motivated guy. You know what I mean? And clearly you don't become a billionaire unless you have some of those qualities, because you need some of those qualities to become a billionaire. So I don't know. I just think he's going to end up dead and or prosecuted for something, or something's going to happen. Like I said, there's so many different scenarios. Are they going to 5150 him? Is he going to drive off a cliff in a new model Tesla? Is his house going to explode? Is he going to be found dead in a river with a bunch of ketamine and it appears to be a suicide? The possibilities are endless when we're talking about death scenarios, but also when it comes to finances. Since he receives federal funding, the government knows everything he's doing. You know, they know everything. Every little piece of dirt he's ever done, they know. The White House knows. Trump already has a file that says Elon Musk dirt. In case of an event he betrays us, this file will be used in small print. They have a file like that on everybody. Hell, your local sheriff's office, if you've ever done anything nefarious, they got a file on you, homie. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So it's crazy that Elon put himself in this position, and it might lead to his demise. History has a way of repeating itself, and Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I thought he killed himself. I was one of the ones saying he killed himself because he had a history of mental instability and a history of trying to commit suicide. And then yesterday we went down the rabbit hole of Trump and Epstein's relationship. They were close friends, allies, for over 15 years, per Trump's words. So, yeah. I was one of the people thinking that he had done this to himself until I found out some of the facts. And then the timeline to the 2020 presidential campaign. It's crazy. I'm not saying that Trump is a rapist, but what I am saying is he has definitely been up to some nefarious stuff in his years. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no denying the evidence. I like the guy. I think people can change. I think all the women he slept with were willing to sleep with him. I do think he's a pervert. I don't think he's a sexual predator. But you can be a pervert and not be a predator and still understand what the word no means. Not every pervert is a predator. But I do think that this is the start of something that's going to be huge. I do. I think that this feud is the start of something. So pay attention and buckle in, because it does not end here with reconciliation, honey. That is... That's laughable that people would think that Elon Musk could betray Trump like he did. Those statements, what else could he have said to hurt Trump anymore? It's literally the worst thing he could have ever said. When you think about the different things he could have said, Elon could have tweeted stating that Trump is in the Epstein files and that's why Kash Patel won't release them. That was literally the worst thing he could have ever said, you know? Like, he could have even made up a lie and people still wouldn't have believed it. He could have been like, oh, Donald Trump likes little girls. And nobody would have believed it. It would have been like, oh God, Elon's being erratic again. But the worst thing that he could say was something that had some, validity to it. And it caused a firestorm of media crazies. Okay, it's been the talk of the town for a week. There's nothing else he could have said that was more detrimental to the Trump campaign and the Trump administration than what he said, and he knew that when he said it, but he said it anyways because his feelings were hurt that his advice was not being taken. And that really goes to show you how fragile his ego is. And he has tons of children. If you cannot accept that the administration that you work for is telling you, no, we're going to do this is our choice, and you got to take to social media to air out your grievances and act like a toddler, that shows you how his ego couldn't take the word no. He could not accept the word no, and he took to social media to try to harm Trump. I mean, it shows you his mentality, you know, the immaturity, the fragile ego. Yeah, well, in my opinion, Elon Musk just sealed his fate. I never knew what was going to happen to him. Now I have a pretty good idea where he's going to end up. Oh man, jails, institutions, or death. That's my prediction. It's just crazy. Yeah, I really do. I think that he's probably messing with stuff that he shouldn't be messing with. He looks really bad. He looks really bad. His whole face looks like it's just red and dry, like he's been scratching it, or he has some kind of eczema going on his face. He looks horrible. He looks dried out. He looks pale. He doesn't look okay. Nor has he been acting okay. You know, it's like, how bad do these celebrities' drug problems have to be for people to just see things for what it is? Like Justin Bieber. He's been spiraling for months. Months. His own management team says that Justin is fine. Well, listen. My eyes tell me that Justin is not fine. Justin is strung out on drugs. Justin is about to die. And he has a brand new baby and a wife who they say his marriage is on the rocks. Justin, in my opinion, is strung out on opiates. It appears, in my professional opinion, that it's opiates. I'd be willing to bet that it's some form of fentanyl and or pills like Oxycontin, pressed pills like Roxy's that are actually fentanyl laced. It appears, in my opinion, that it's some sort of opiate. Now, we can't verify that because his entire team is lying as he's killing himself and he's spiraling out of control. It's not good. It's clear to see that he's on drugs, in my opinion. His life is in danger, and he's putting his wife and his baby's life in danger by creating this environment. It's sad. You know, we all assume that P. Diddy did something to that boy. I just wonder if this P. Diddy trial is making this worse for Justin, because that's really when we start to see the headlines come out, is at the start of the trial. We all knew that he was unwell when he first had the baby, Jack, which I do believe was sometime last year. Hold on. When did Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber have their baby? August of last year. So they welcomed the baby in August of last year, and Justin seemed fine. He seemed excited about the new baby. They were bringing the baby home from the hospital. Hailey seemed over the moon at being a new mother. Things seemed fine. And then, when was it that, hold on. When was P. Diddy's property first searched last year? So they searched his home in March of 24. Justin has a baby in, what was that, August of 24. And then come September 18th, Sean was arrested and indicted on sex charges. And that's, in my opinion, from the stuff I've been able to find online, that's around the time that Justin really starts to spiral. I'm wondering if this is psychologically impacting him, the trial. I don't know. One can only assume and speculate like I'm doing, and I'm doing a lot of conspiracy theories today. But also, a lot of it is common sense. If he was a victim of P. Diddy, and in some way he's been screaming out for help for years, and his voice went unheard, and then he sees that he's getting indicted, but still and yet the abuse that he went through is not spotlighted. It's harming. It's traumatic for a victim to not be validated, and not, especially if he wants this information known. You know, and that's only if he would want the information known. But also, just seeing Sean be arrested and P. Diddy, it could have brought up repressed memories. It could have re-traumatized him. He could have let it go, and then Sean Puffy Combs is indicted, and it could have triggered him. That would be a normal response if it happened and he was in fact a victim of P. Diddy. When did Hailey Bieber have her baby? I don't know. August. So Hailey had the baby in August, and then in September, Sean was arrested. He literally says in a song that he lost himself at a Diddy party. Justin Bieber's, one of his song lyrics says, "I lost myself at a P. Diddy party." The baby singer's rise to fame was astronomical. Justin Bieber discovered in 2008 by Scooter Braun, who's a crook. At just 14 years old, he was taken under the wing of Usher to sign a deal with RBMG Records. Before long, he was brushing shoulders with other high-profile musicians, including P. Diddy. Resurfaced videos of Justin and P. Diddy, as well as fans drawing parallels to his song, have specifically called into question Justin's welfare during that time. An old clip of P. Diddy and Justin Bieber resurfaced online in the wake of the allegation, whereby two discussed spending a, quote, crazy 48 hours together. And I just want to be clear. How old was Sean at this point? 30s, 40s, and he's hanging out with a 14-year-old child? To the camera, Diddy says, quote, he's having 48 hours with Diddy where we hanging out and doing what we can't really disclose. It's so blatantly in the face, it's unbelievable. He was telling everybody what he was doing. He says it. We're doing what we can't disclose. What can't you disclose? Underage drinking, underage drugs, messing with children. It's disturbing. There's some of my eye. It's definitely a 15-year-old's dream, Puffy says. He signed to Usher when he did his first album. I don't really have a legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. And we're going to act a buck fool crazy. The clip was originally posted by Justin to his YouTube channel and remains there to this day. Fuck. I did not know that. Yeah, it sounds like Justin's been screaming out for years, in my opinion. He posted that. Other resurfaced clips show Diddy handing Justin a bottle on his birthday, which he kneels down to drink from. Then there's an old episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians from 2014 where Khloe references both Justin and Diddy when recounting her attendance at one of the naked parties. Khloe says, quote, I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. Well, this party, I think half of the people there were butt naked. It was just a bunch of friends hanging out, and listing off Diddy, Quincy, and Justin Bieber. This was Khloe Kardashian that said that she stepped on a private plane. Half the people were naked. P. Diddy, Quincy, and Justin Bieber were on that plane. In the early stages of Justin's career, it's clear from videos and photos and interviews that P. Diddy played a huge part in the singer's career and life, most likely due to the mutual ties to Usher. It appears that Justin later distanced himself, intentionally or not, that is unknown, from Diddy, judging by another resurfaced clip of an uncomfortable encounter between the pair years after the 48 hours clip was filmed. In the video, the two shake hands, with Justin saying he's all good before Diddy probes again. Everything good? Selling out arenas and everything, Diddy asked. Justin can then be heard saying, starting to act different, huh? Oh, no. Diddy says, starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way that we used to hang out. While a lot remains unknown and unconfirmed from Justin, the recent allegations against P. Diddy have led many to speculate and reflect on prior judgments of the star. This is crazy. Oh, that song, I Lost Myself at a Diddy Party, is allegedly AI generated. At some point, Justin unfollowed. Fan theories have been sent into overdrive after Justin Bieber was spotted culling the list of people he follows on Instagram following a sweep of cuts last week, which saw the singer unfollow his former manager, Scooter Braun, and team members Allison Kay, Ryan Good, Poe Bear, and Kenny Hamilton. Bieber has now also cut off his former mentor, Usher. How old is he? Damn it, Bobby. How old is Justin Bieber? 31. This makes perfect fucking sense.
30.
All of it makes perfect fucking sense. Justin, in my opinion, is trying to reconcile with his childhood and figure out, he knows deep down. And also, he's been mixed up in religion. He was part of this like celebrity church cult thing. So Justin knows God. Justin acknowledges God. And he knows if in fact he was sexually abused and used and passed around the music industry, he knows it was wrong. And he's trying to deal with that, in my opinion. He's 31 years old and he just had his first child. That is the moment that you really start coming into the level of awareness to put things together from your childhood. You know what I mean? So he blocks everybody on social media, which is very telling to me. It's like these are the people that would have been in his circle that had control over the music he was putting out, his image. He has, it seems like his team members, he blocked them all and cut them all out of his life, including Usher. I don't know what these people did to him, but I can assure you that he wouldn't be blocking them and cutting them out of his life for no damn reason. Almost immediately after Justin blocked his own team members, Scooter Braun and Usher, fans tied the act back to P. Diddy. Didn't Usher bring Justin Bieber to Diddy parties when he was underage? If so, he has every reason to unfollow Usher. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. Justin is at the age where he's realizing if in fact he was groomed and sexually exploited, and we know he was exploited. He was a child star. So that's a whole separate category of trauma that he survived through. Vigorous training for dancing on stage, constant vocal training, constantly unstable environments from place to place to place. That's not normal. He was a child star and he was absolutely traumatized in some way by the lifestyle in itself. And then there's a chance that he was also sexually abused, which adds a whole nother layer of psychological torture. And if it's true, Justin absolutely blocked these people because he feels violated by the people that were closest to him. This is what we would call betrayal trauma. It causes a severe psychological impact and can cause PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know what happened to Justin, but Justin is not okay. It's very clear to me that he is on drugs, in my opinion. He's on drugs. I would assume opiates, but I have no way to verify that. Just from his own behavior and his own behavior, I would assume that it's opiates, but I have no way to know that. Someone commented on social media after Justin Bieber blocked Usher. Someone said something fishy's going on here because they were like father and son. Ugh. So sad. Justin Bieber's recent social media posts and behaviors have raised concerns, with some interpretations pointing towards potential drug use and mental health struggles. It's my belief that he's got both going on. While Bieber has been candid about his past battles with addiction and mental health, recent instances have sparked worry, particularly around his behavior at the Hailey Bieber event and cryptic messages about transactional relationships. Some interpretations suggest he might be seeking help for his mental well-being, and that's not true. Actually, his own team say that he's perfectly fine, nothing's wrong with him, nothing to see here, and this is exactly how stars like this end up dead. Some interpretations suggest ketamine use, while Justin has denied specific rumors. Bieber has shared a series of cryptic posts on Instagram, including mentions of ketamine and messages about those relationships. These posts have led to diverse interpretations. Maybe it's ketamine. What's the effects of ketamine? What's the effects of ketamine? It's a dissociative anesthetic. So ketamine is increasingly popular as treatment for depression and pain, and is often prescribed as an alternative to addictive opiates. But you get physically addicted to that too. So so stupid. It does have hallucinogenic effects. So maybe it's not opiates. Maybe he's on ketamine. Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects. It distorts perception of sight and sounds and makes the user feel disconnected and not in control. It is an injectable, short-acting anesthetic for use in humans and animals. Ketamine can induce a state of sedation, relief from pain, and amnesia. Jesus Christ. Just do heroin. Don't do drugs, but it sounds just as bad as heroin is my point. Wow. It is abused for its ability to produce dissociative sensations and hallucinogens. Ketamine also has been used to facilitate sexual assaults. You don't say. I don't know what he's on, but I guess it could be ketamine because it looks like an opiate. So this is a suppressant as well. Is ketamine a suppressant? It's a dissociative drug, which causes feelings of detachment or separation from one's body and environment. It's a central nervous system depressant. So yes, it's a depressant. Suppressant, depressant. It's like alcohol or opioids. So it's going to have the same effects as alcohol or opioids, where they're kind of here, but they're not here. Their eyes are open, but their soul doesn't seem to be there. The lights are on, but nobody's home. So I guess he could be on ketamine. It fits the description of the, it fits his behavioral patterns. And he's been open that he's used this before. Long-term ketamine use, withdrawal effects. It also has hallucinogenic and psychedelic properties. Individuals who chronically and frequently use ketamine will develop a psychological dependency and will experience cravings when not taking the drug. Repeated exposure to ketamine causes the body to stop responding to the drug as it once did. So it's just like the effects of heroin. You start off with one bag, and in 2 weeks, you're doing $100 worth a day. Leading to the individual to use larger doses to achieve the desired high. This can contribute the cycle of ketamine misuse and addiction, prompting the individual to continually seek out the drug despite negative consequences, just like heroin. Tolerance can develop very rapidly, particularly if the individual uses ketamine in a binge cycle, in which the drug is administered multiple times in a short period. The The journal, the journal, the Journal of Psychoactive Drugs published a study finding that withdrawal from ketamine may be similar to withdrawal from other addictive drugs such as cocaine, heroin, that produce very strong cravings and a high tolerance but do not generally lead to physical symptoms often associated. And that's bullshit, because I've had friends that had to check in the detox to come off of ketamine. That's bullshit. And matter of fact, if you get strung out on ketamine and you're not using it like the days that you miss it, you can't even function, just like a heroin addict, just like a crackhead, just like a meth head. It's just as bad. We put too much faith in the FDA and the USDA. I don't know which one of them fuckers approve medications, but I know one of them does. And we put too much damn faith in these fuckers. People need to wake up to the fact that they want all of us strung out on something so that they are making money off of every single one of us. Just because it's legal don't mean it should be. So the Journal of Psychoactive Drugs published, they found that the withdrawal from ketamine is similar to withdrawals from cocaine and heroin. Let's see. They produce a high tolerance but do not generally lead to the physical symptoms often associated with withdrawal from other substances. Individuals who are addicted to ketamine will continue to use the drug in response to the overpowering cravings they experience when trying to quit. Some of the symptoms of ketamine withdrawal match every single symptom of heroin withdrawal. Ain't that crazy? Cravings for the drug, mood swings, anxiety, insomnia, depression, fatigue, nausea, shakes, sweating, heart palpitations, elevated body temperature. So exciting. Within 24 hours of the last use, an individual who may experience a mood-related come down from the ketamine high from day 12 to 30 after last use, people experience anxiety, shaking, sweats, elevated body temperature, and heart palpitations. Another risk of ketamine withdrawal is cravings. Cravings are the most cited reasons that patients tend to relapse. Same thing goes for heroin and cocaine and methamphetamine. So they suggest a taper to come off of this, just like we would use methadone or Suboxone to taper the patient off of a maintenance program. Symptoms of the psychological withdrawal syndrome associated with chronic ketamine use can sometimes be managed by slowly tapering the dose of ketamine over a span of days or weeks. By tapering ketamine use rather than stopping use abruptly, the body can better adjust to the abstinence of the drug. This can lessen cravings and make the ketamine detox process easier. Huh. Well, damn. Justin, what the flip, man? Did Justin Bieber's mama give him to Usher? All right, so let's read between the lines. So it says, no, Justin Bieber's mother, Patty, did not give him to Usher in the sense of selling him or signing over parental rights. Instead, Scooter Braun, who discovered Bieber on YouTube, convinced Patty to bring Justin to Atlanta to meet Usher. Usher was impressed with Bieber's talent and signed him to his record label, Island Def Jam, in partnership with Raymond Braun Media Group, which he co-founded with Braun. Usher played a key role in Bieber's early career, acting as a mentor and executive producer on his debut album. Usher considered Bieber like a child to me in 2016. Recent reports indicate a possible strain in their relationship, with Bieber unfollowing Usher on social media. Let me ask you something. Okay, so she didn't sign over parental rights. That's not even what I was thinking that she did. How much time do you think that Usher and P. Diddy had, how much time do you think they had one-on-one with Justin? Because I think it was a lot of time. I think that Patty absolutely let Justin live with Usher and P. Diddy, probably let him go over there numerous times. They were his manager. They were his production. They were everything. Without them, and without her being willing to let them have access to him, his career would have never taken off. If she was going to be a helicopter mom, he wasn't going to be a star. We know a lot of these children's stars, even as far back as Shirley Temple and Judy Garland, they were passed around the industry. So there's no telling what happened to him, y'all. She was battling drug issues her fucking self. When Justin Bieber signed his first record deal with Usher's label in 2008, his mother, Patty, had no doubts he would be a star. Patty, who was 49, was fundamental to her son's early success, accompanying him on his first solo trip to Atlanta to meet music entrepreneur Scooter Braun, and uploading videos of Justin singing cover versions of famous YouTube songs, or songs on YouTube, where his talent was first discovered. It was Patty who gave birth to her son at home for teenage mothers a month before her 19th birthday. So Justin Bieber's mama already had an unstable upbringing. She was pregnant outside of wedlock, and she was going to give birth to Justin in this teenage mother. I'm sorry. It was a teenage home for mothers who were unwed, who were about to get teenage mothers who were about to give birth. That's where Justin was born. And it was right before her 19th birthday. So she's 49 now. She was in charge of signing Justin's legal documents as his career took off. And she admitted that the task was, quote, daunting. Being suddenly thrust into the mechanisms of big record companies and talent agents would be the bewildering task for anyone, but it's fair to say that Patty was vulnerable and Patty was vulnerable after overcoming a very difficult past. I'm sorry. Oh shit. Long line of history. A long line of abuse. You don't say. Long line of history. You knew what I meant. You knew what I meant. Patty, who was abused as a child from the age of 5 by a male babysitter and a friend's grandfather, she recalls how she became so accustomed to being violated that it began to feel normal. After abusing drugs and alcohol in her teenage years to mask the pain, she raised Justin in social housing and worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time to support them. So here we have a family, Justin Bieber and his mother, living in poverty, living in Section 8. She's barely scraping by. And I would not doubt that there is instances of mental instability and drug use. You know what I mean? Mental problems and drug use. So years after struggling, it's no wonder that Justin's sudden rise to fame felt like the reward that they had been waiting for. Sadly, that naivety had played a part in... I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me. Naivety had a part to play in Justin's path to whirlwind life of fame, leaving him potentially vulnerable to some of the industry's most dangerous and predatory stars. Just a year after being signed to Island Records, a 15-year-old Bieber spent a now infamous 48 hours with P. Diddy, seemingly unsupervised at the rapper's home, where they, quote, went full buck crazy. Bieber himself, a new father to Jack Blues with wife Hailey Bieber, has said that he feels disgusted by the allegations against Diddy and wants nothing to do with Diddy. Questions have been raised about how such a doting mother could leave her only son in such a vulnerable position and allow Diddy to become a mentor-like figure to him. Sources close to Justin exclusively told the Daily Mail that he, quote, should have never been allowed at the party with Diddy or anyone else when he was a teenager, end quote. They claim that he was, quote, thrown to the wolves by his mother and a largely absent father, Jeremy Bieber, with whom she split a few months after Justin's birth. There's no evidence to suggest that Bieber's parents, Usher or Reed, knew about Diddy's alleged criminal activity at the time. Well, then that just means that they were idiots. But Patty herself was still young and had her only son at 18 years old, just months before she turned 19. She has a long history of trauma. Even before she was born, tragedy had struck the family. Her sister Sally had died after being hit by a car when she was just 5 years old, while their mother was pregnant with Patty. After her violent alcoholic father left, she was 2 years old. Patty endured years of sexual abuse with those responsible, including a family's grandfather, a friend's grandfather, and a male babysitter. In her book, she claimed that she was first molested at the age of 3, continuing until she was 14. As a teenager, she turned to drugs and alcohol to numb the pain. It sounds like Patty has had a hard life too. And it just goes on. The woman's been through a lot. While she was signing Justin Bieber's documents, she revealed she was, quote, afraid of her decision, that it would put him on a path of unhealthy long-term relationships, in words that have now become haunting as the allegations surrounding Diddy have surfaced. Patty writes, things were just happening so big and so fast with Justin. I was responsible for signing contracts that could affect a large portion of Justin's life. And now he's broke. For those that don't know, Justin Bieber's broke. Yeah, he's about to be mooching off of Hailey. I hope she got a prenup, because she's a billionaire. And if it's true that he has a drug problem, then he's going to need a lot of money to support that habit. I don't know. I think that the fact that Justin put that P. Diddy video out himself, I think he's telling us that he was abused. I think we need to take it as face value. Justin Bieber is the one that posted the infamous clip of P. Diddy standing with his arm around Justin, talking about how they were going to get buck wild for the next 48 hours and they couldn't disclose what they were going to do. And the fact that Justin posted that, he's probably been screaming for years for someone to pay attention. It's sad. And now he has a son. And life is coming full circle for him. And it seems like he's spiraling into full-blown addiction. He does not look good. He does not sound good. He's been all over Instagram and other social media platforms being erratic and dangerous, making incoherent statements, well in his body. He looks half drunk or high on opiates. I mean, it's concerning. It's really concerning. And we all know that Hailey Bieber ain't got no damn backbone, so she ain't gonna do nothing about it, and his management ain't gonna do nothing about it because they say that he's fine. He's not fine. He's not fine at all. These things really suck. They really do. And it hurts my heart for him because I do think something happened to him. I do think Diddy hurt him. I'm not blaming his mom, but it's very clear that she was in over her head and she didn't know who she was dealing with, and she's also a victim herself. The family dynamics are so unhealthy. So unhealthy. Extremely unhealthy. My chicken was good. Not for $8.50, but it was good. Well, I'm gonna run. I gotta go do laundry. Gotta do laundry. And yeah. I don't know, I'm buying my time. Buying my time. It sucks. I hate when I'm like stuck here waiting on stuff to happen so that I can take care of stuff that I need to take care of. It's like I'm just buying my time until the end of the week. I'm ready to get through this week and next week so that I can make a plan, because I can't do anything until all of this is handled, till I pick the truck up, till I go to court. Like, I can't do anything until all of this is handled. So I'm ready for it to just take place so that I can just go to living my life on the streets and figure out how I'm going to survive out there. Sitting here thinking about that stresses me out more than trying to actually physically live it out, you know? So it's like, I know I'm about to be on the streets, but like, I don't know when they're going to get the truck. And it's kind of just killing me. I would rather them just go and get the truck and I'll figure out how I'm going to live on the streets. It's stressing me out not knowing when they're going to come and get the truck. And it's prolonging everything. Like, I'm ready for them to just take the fucking truck so that I can figure out how I'm going to survive and where to go from here. I can't even start my plan until they get custody of the truck. Do you get what I'm saying? So, it's been very stressful, but I knew that this was coming because I haven't made enough money from YouTube to ever make a truck payment. I mean, I made all my truck payments by the grace of God, but what I'm saying is I don't generate enough income to pay for the truck, to pay for the gas. So, you know, I literally said this for a year, and everybody wanted to say that I was lying because they lie. And a lot of these people that jump in my comment section, they don't even own cars, so they don't understand what a deferment is. They don't understand how it works, and then they twist everything around. And like, I find it comical because I really thought that I was like super, super, super dumb. And the longer I have a channel, the more I'm seeing that maybe I'm not that bad off. Maybe I need to be grateful. You know what I mean? So, for instance, 6 months ago, somebody asked me how much I owed on the truck, and I said $8,000. Well, somebody asked me the other day, how much do you owe on the truck? And I said probably about $7,000 or $8,000. Most people that have bought multiple cars understand that since I've had a deferment, I haven't paid any of those payments off because they were pushed to the back of the loan, which kept my payoff the same that it was 3 months prior, because nothing is going towards the car. It's all finances that are being taken. Do you see what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand this because a lot of people have never bought a new car. They don't understand gap insurance. They don't understand what these things are and how these systems work. Some of y'all completely get it. When you are doing deferments and you're pushing those payments to the back of the loan, you're not paying off any of the, what's the word? You're not paying off the whole sum of the car. You're just paying off interest. And so that is why I still owe the same amount that I did 3 or 4 months ago. And hell, when you make these payments, only, you know, out of my $700 payment, only a few $100s is even going towards the cost of the car anyways. Most of that they take is for finance. So it's finance interest. So, you know, it's just crazy. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming probably a year after I bought the truck, because that's when society started to decline. Gas went up. Remember 2021? So I bought this truck then, and probably 6 months after I bought this truck, that's when everything went to shit and I just couldn't afford anything anymore. My income was directly impacted by everybody else's income. And if they're not making money, then I'm not making money. And so it's just the name of the game. It's just how it is. I was in a cash-only business that was severely affected by COVID. Probably about 90% of income stopped when COVID started. And that's just the name of the game. And that's how it's been. So I can't change that. I've worked my ass off. I get up every day and strive to do better. And that's the only thing that I can do. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, regardless if I'm living on the streets. I do wish that they would just hurry up and come and take the truck, because I'm ready to make a plan on the streets, you know. I do want them to hurry up and come get it, because I'm just exhausted. Even like today, I have no way to get gas, and I have no gas. It's stressing me out. If I didn't have the fucking truck, I wouldn't have these problems. All of my money would go into my pocket for food, for myself, for clothes that I need. Like, literally, look at this. Everything I own is 16 sizes too fucking big. I haven't even bought myself a clothing item in 4 years. I'm sick of that. I worked my ass off from sun up to sundown to take care of myself, to focus on my mental health. And I don't even have clothes that fit me. It's just frustrating. It's very frustrating. Not to mention food to eat. You know, went to bed again hungry last night. I was too lazy to cook, and it also was too hot to cook. And then I wake up this morning starving. Lay in bed for 4 hours hungry as hell, trying to figure out how I'm going to get money for food. It's exhausting. If I did not have this truck, I would not have these problems. I really don't know how I was able to come up with $3,000 to $4,000 a month up until 2 months ago, because, well, I did have one person helping me. So that makes sense. But it costs about $3,000 to $4,000 a month to live out of a car comfortably. If you're going to be driving a V8, anything like a Suburban, a van, an RV, honey, your gas bill is going to be between $1,200 and $2,000 a month on the easy end. That's on the good end. These things that I've experienced, that I've expressed, they get twisted around on me. And it's crazy that people... The reason why is there's a lot of YouTubers that have channels that showcase their van life, and they try to make it seem like it's this life of luxury and ease. And they're showcasing that to y'all to build their channel to make money off of y'all. They need you to think that this is a life of luxury, so they play the part. And what they're really doing is lying to you guys. Now, there's been other social media creators this year that have come out saying the same thing that I have been saying for 2 years. And thank God to those people that are showing the receipts of van life, because this is not a cheaper option. This is an option that you fall into because of certain circumstances. It's easier at the time because it's what you have to do and it's the only option, but it is not cheaper. Not unless you got a $4,000 mortgage. Now, if you got a $4,000 mortgage, of course this is going to be cheaper. But if you're a single person living in a 1-bedroom apartment that's $1,200 a month, that would be approximately your gas for the month. Remember what I said, $1,200 to $2,000. So if you're paying for a 1-bedroom apartment, or you're paying $1,200 to $2,000 in gas, it's going to equal out to the same. Living out of a car is the same cost as living out of a 1-bedroom apartment for $1,200 a month. The truck payment's $700, the insurance is $150, and then you tack on the $1,200 to $2,000 a month in gas. That's almost $3,000. That's not including your food. That's not including your gym pass to shower. That's not including little ins and outs that you might need. Like for me, Tylenol PM or some kind of sleeping medication. Laundry, that's a huge one. Vacuuming and cleaning the car out on a weekly basis. All of these things start to add up. I probably go through 1 or 2 packs of these a week, which means that I'm spending approximately just $10 a month just to have baby wipes because I don't have access to running water unless I drive 45 minutes down the road to the gym. All of these little things start to add up. Now, if you want to be nasty and live out of a car, by all means, you can probably do it cheaper, but nobody's going to want to be around you and nobody's going to want to serve you in their business because you're nasty and you stink. So I just think that there's so much misconception that comes with this lifestyle, and people, my own followers, acted like last year, they acted like I had made it big and I wasn't going to have no problems, and YouTube monetized me and that was going to help me out. And there's so much misconception that it gets turned around on me because YouTube lies. They have me posted as making $20,000 a month. Do you know how much that hurts a creator like me that literally doesn't even have money for food? It's hurt me tremendously. It's been, besides YouTube has been the main one that has hurt me. The platform that I work for works against me on a daily basis by posting lies. I have never made a $2,000, I've never made a $1,500 check from YouTube. I've never made a $1,400 check from YouTube. So the fact that they have me posted as making $20,000 a month is so counterproductive for my channel. It's crazy. Crazy. And you know, maybe after a month or 2 on the streets, people will see things for what it is. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm really hoping. It's crazy. Let's look at some analytics since I'm talking about it. It just keeps going up, which makes me even madder. Your hard work paid off. Publishing more helped your channel get 277% more views than usual. I've had almost a 300% increase on my views in less than a month. And I don't even make a $700 check. It's crazy. Millions, almost 4 million views this month. Don't you think that 1 million views is worth $250? Because I do. And I actually think that 1 million views is worth like $500 to $1,000. They say that if you Google how much money do you make off of 1 million views, Google lies and said that you make like $27,000. I hit 1 million views on a post and I made $270. The lies that they put out there. The lies that they put out there. It's crazy. How much money do you make off of 1 million views on YouTube? $1,000 to $6,000, and I've seen some that said $27,000. So, lies. A YouTube can expect to earn between $1,000 and $6,000 for 1 million views. That is a bold-faced lie, and I can prove it. Give me a minute. Content. We're gonna go to shorts. We're gonna have to scroll back. 1,000 to 6. I've never even received a check for $6,000 or anywhere close to it. It's crazy. And you know, that same post that I'm talking about is still getting thousands of views every day. It was about the Springfield event with the Haitians eating the ducks or the geese. Remember that? So Google and YouTube work together, for those that don't know. I actually work for YouTube, but I'm paid through Google. And Google has it posted that if you get 1 million views on YouTube, that you get anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000. It was called Our Tax Dollars Rolling Down the Street. Hold on one second. It got over 1 million views. 1 million views. And I made $300 off of that, which is great. That's actually good. I'd be okay with that if that's the only one I've ever made money off of. All of my shorts, I make pennies on the dollar. I make 13 cents, 12 cents for everything I post. So as you would see, at that rate, I would have to post 15 posts a day just to make $1.50 or $1.20. Do you get what I'm saying? I would have to post 10 shorts a day in order to even make $1, and that's only if they get over 1,000 or 2,000 views. Since this short was published, it's got over 1,050,000 views. I made $300 off of it, but Google says that if a YouTuber can expect to earn between 1,000 and 6,000 for 1 million views, it's a lie. All of it is a lie. Everything that they have posted on Google is a blatant fucking lie. YouTube pays creators a percentage of the revenue it makes from ads and fan funding. The RPM is the amount that a creator makes for every 1,000 views. Multiply your RPM by 1,000 to estimate the amount you'll earn for 1 million views. For example, if your RPM is $30, you could earn $30,000 for 1 million views. They are so full of shit. This is so fucking illegal. Somebody please send me an email. This is illegal as fuck. YouTube takes 45% of the advertising revenue, and that's only if you're an Android holder. If you're an Apple holder, Apple takes an additional 20%. So you end up with 35 or 30%. YouTube takes 45, and it's closer to 50. They take half of my donation. So if somebody sends me $1,000, they keep 500. And then Apple also takes an additional 20%. So if you send me $100, YouTube takes 50 and Apple takes 20, and they leave me with 30. It's crazy. YouTube creators generally earn between $1,200 and $6,000 for 1 million views. You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that? That's 1 million views right there. And notice that since the short was published, it got 1 million views. It says it up at the top. Since the short was published, it got over 1,050,000 views. What was my page? Hold on one second. Doesn't make any sense. So I think the point is that you would need a substantial amount of followers. I would say between 150 and 250,000 to even actually generate enough revenue to even pay some small bills. You would have to have between 150,000 and 250,000 followers. You would have to be posting 10 to 20 times a day, which is fine. I don't have the resources to do that. My phones don't work half the time. I wish they did. If I had Starlink, I'd post all day. But you're gonna need 150 to 200,000 followers even to make money, like revenue. Like, because I'm at 60,000 followers and I'm still not making $1,000 checks. So in order to generate enough income, in my opinion, you would have to have double, if not triple or quadruple the amount of followers I have to even generate $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Do you understand what I'm saying? Unless you want to be fake and go kiss everybody's ass and put up with shit, bullying, disrespect, sexual harassment. Sure, you can be a sellout and link your OnlyFans And you can be a sellout and start selling herbal supplements and kiss everybody's ass and play the fucking rat race. But I'm not doing that. If you haven't noticed, we're doing things differently over here. Specifically the right way. So that we're not exploited even further. Because we get it. You know, if you want to sell out, then sure, you could probably make $2,000 or $3,000 a month with 100,000 followers. But if you're doing things the right way, the moral way, the ethical way, like I am, then it's going to be a lot harder to generate income. And damn near impossible, because YouTube works against you by posting lies. I've shared my financial records time and time again. I will never be doing that again. I've went above and beyond over here, being honest, taking drug tests, for God's sakes. What the fuck? I looked at that last night. I was like, what is wrong with me? Fuck those motherfuckers, first of all. But second of all, I've been clean for years. The only people that try to say I'm on drugs are people that use drugs. So I find that interesting. Respectable people that come over here that are respectable, they know I'm not on drugs. It's just crazy. It's little things like that that I'm so done with. I will never share my financial records. I will never do anything to change anyone's mind about me. And I'm sure as hell not going to be going back and forth on the internet with drama. All of that is beneath me. It's all beneath me. And I'm proud of myself. 100% proud of myself. Regardless, I've done what most people are incapable of doing. And I'm proud of myself. And I will continue to be proud of myself because I should be. I cannot believe that chicken was $8 for 2 pieces. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, they are big pieces, and I'm going to eat them tonight. I'm going to stick one of them. I ate over half of one of them, but I'm going to stick the other one in a pot of, I'm going to make some soup. And I'll take the chicken off the bone and put it in the soup, because I don't want to eat just noodles. This morning, though, that avocado that I had in the back, it was finally ripened enough for me to cut it, half of it. The other half of it wasn't ripe. Make it make sense. Those came from Peru. Never had that problem from the avocados from Mexico. Now we got a whole new shipment from Peru because of the tariffs. And the avocados from Peru, it took that thing almost 3 weeks to ripen, and only half of it was ripened. Weird. Weird, weird. It's the genetic modification of fruit and vegetables that's leading to these issues. Bananas ain't even supposed to be that big, first of all. Strawberries don't even taste like strawberries anymore. The watermelon tastes like pure water. They're messing with too much of our fruit, and it shows, and our vegetables, and it shows. But I had tortilla with mayonnaise, avocado, tomato, and bacon bits. And it was really good. I actually warmed it up, and it was good. That's what I had this morning for breakfast. So I ate both. And last night, I had tomato tacos for dinner. That's what I had, was those tortillas with mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and tomatoes. And then, yeah, that was it. That was it. And I had that at like 3 or 4 o'clock. And I was hungry again at like 8 or 9, but I just went to bed. So both of those tomatoes are gone, and the avocado is gone. So I need more fruits and vegetables. I just don't feel like going right now. I bet Walmart. Oh, if I am going to go, I better go before they get busy. Shit, I need a minute to think. I got too much in my head. Y'all, I really hate, like, I keep trying to figure out if I would rather be homeless in the winter or the summer. And honestly, I think both are absolute torture. It's going to be absolute hell. I haven't even been drinking those electrolytes because I want to save them from when I'm walking down the street. Because they're so expensive, I know that I'm not going to be able to afford anymore. So I've been saving what I got for when they repo the truck, so I'll have them left. It'll probably get me by for 2 or 3 days. Out here in this heat, walking. Oh, well, you know, it is what it is. I've been homeless my whole life. First, it was in the foster care system in group homes and foster homes. And then it was through the Department of Corrections. And then at 16, I was on my own homeless, and I've been homeless since. So this ain't nothing new. It's just another day in reality. just because I've had a roof over my head at sporadic times throughout my life, those were not my homes. You know what I mean? I was still a victim. I was still held captive against my fucking will at times. And those were not my homes. Even then, with a roof over my head, I was still technically homeless. I feel so bad for Emily Pike. I know exactly what was going on that reservation. They knew that there was fucking pedophiles out there, and they were facilitating it. Instead of arresting the perpetrators, they punished the child who was the victim of a sex crime and sent her away to a group home. I already know what it was. I already know what it was. It's politics. Perverted politics. In my opinion, that sheriff needs to be arrested. For what? I don't know. Facilitating pedophilia? I don't know. Something. Well, I'm going to go relax for a minute, and then we might go to Walmart to get some more fruit and vegetables because I don't have anything to eat. My box is empty. I don't have tuna. I don't have oysters. I have nothing. So I need to get something so that I don't feel like shit tomorrow. Because if I don't eat, then I'll feel like ass. Oatmeal, olives, and corn. Spaghetti sauce. Corn. Spaghetti sauce. No noodles. Olives. And I do have 1 pack of tuna. That's it. That's it. So I definitely need to get something for tonight. And it is so hot. Well, I'm gonna run, y'all. I hope that y'all have a good afternoon, and we might hang out later. I'm gonna get myself together. I haven't had time to think. It's really hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is to actually film. I'm not even good at it. People that get on there like Candace or like Ben and them, and they're just so professional and just they speak so clearly, and like I'm so enamored by that because I'm not like that. I could be if the circumstances weren't stressful. Oh, I definitely could be. But yeah, I'm not good at filming, and it actually messes with my ADHD really, really bad. If I'm filming, then I forget the task at hand. Like, I'm more focused on the phone rather than what I should be doing. And y'all seen this. I just dropped my phone in a porta potty, for God's sakes. That is ADHD. That is the discombobulation that comes behind filming and having ADHD at the same time. It's a lot more complex. This side of the camera is more complex for people that have the TISM, that have ADHD, that have these social issues, you know, like, what is it called? Attachment issues. These social, I don't know what to call them. I guess social issues. Like, you know, I'm just a weirdo. It's harder to film. The dyslexia and the ADHD just overpowers your mind. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not very easy to film, and I don't think that I've really explained that before. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Well, I'll get to Candace level one day. It might take me 20 years, but we'll get to that professional level one day, regardless of whatever happens. That's the goal. It might be 10 years from now, but that's the goal. I want my own little she shed. I want a she shed that I can film in all day. We'll get there. I love you guys, and pray for me because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for you guys, and thanks for putting up with my ADHD. Bye, y'all.